And here we are with the newly appointed quarterback of the Rhein Fire, my man Chad Jeffries, joining the show. Chad, what's going on, man? Welcome to the interview here. I appreciate you driving through a ton of traffic to get here. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm great. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here and talk with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely, man. There's so much I want to talk to you about, but I want to get a little quick run through of your football career in Europe, because you kind of played all over the place even before the ELF. Can you give me a little run through of your football career?
Yeah, so after college days, had some, talks with the CFL teams. Nothing came to fruition.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, what's left for me? What's the options I have? Came over to Germany in 2017 with the Marburg Mercenaries.
Yeah.
In the GFL. And then after that, I had a pretty good season my first year in Germany. Came like 4 games through the season. Kind of feeling my way through the whole European football thing and kind of seeing how that goes. And then after that, I kind of fell in love with it. And then the second season, I went to the Danube Dragons in the Austrian Football League. And that was a great experience for me. That's kind of where I met my future wife, and I had 2 kids. So after that, I met her, stayed there for 5 seasons, and had a great time there. Won an Austrian Bowl championship, an MVP, so I had a good time there. Met some great people, some great Austrian players, And then after that, I had an opportunity. I was kind of hungry for more,
right.
Bigger and better things, a bigger league. And Munich Ravens, I knew Sean Shelton from playing with the Austrian Football League, and I kind of reached out to him. I was like, hey man, what's it going to take for me to be over there?
Yeah. He
kind of put me through the whole tryout process. So me and a couple guys drove out to Munich, had like a good tryout with the team. Coach Shoop was there at the tryout. Had some good throwing sessions with him. And then kind of had some early talks, kind of feeling my way through the whole process. Okay. And then at the end of the day, they offered me, and then I was there for 2 seasons.
Interesting. Okay, so you kind of had to prove yourself with the tryout to get the spot there with the Munich Ravens, huh?
Yeah, I think Sean kind of knew, my background and what I was able to do.
Okay.
But it was kind of showing myself for Coach Shoop, and then kind of proving myself there. Yeah.
Did you have any, maybe hesitations might not be the right word, but kind of questions about joining a brand new franchise? Because that was the first year ever of the Munich Ravens. Like, okay, this franchise didn't exist. You're leaving where you've been for 5 years to come to a different city, to a different team. Did you have any questions about that, or were you excited to be like, hey, I'm starting something new?
Yeah, I think it was definitely the second part, kind of starting something new, being the first ever quarterback for the Munich Ravens. I think that was a huge opportunity for myself in my career playing in Europe. So I was just excited to get my foot in the door in the European League of Football. So I didn't really have any offers that first season. But after that season, it kind of took off from there.
Yeah, it really did, man. I mean, that first season, I think you guys surprised a lot of people, myself included. I think you guys went 7-5. You had a winning record with Coach Shoop. Exactly. I mean, you guys almost made the playoffs as a first-year franchise. And I remember thinking, oh, wow, Munich Ravens off to a great start. Like, probably going to bring everybody back and make the playoffs the next year. I was a little surprised that they let go of Coach Shoop. How was that for you, losing your head coach in this situation? It seemed like you guys were off to a good start.
Yeah, that was definitely tough for me. I was so comfortable in his offense and what he was kind of bringing to the team, the philosophy. But yeah, I guess they had some miscommunications between the staff and the higher ups, the board. So, but that's how. At the end of the day, it's a business, and you're gonna have those kind of problems. But I was very excited to see how Sean could handle that and kind of rebound and keep a lot of the homegrown players home.
Right.
Keeping those key EU guys back again for another season. And then he did a great job hiring, Coach Kendall as a head coach, DC, and even Kyle Callahan as the OC.
Yeah, I mean, dude, Sean is like just an OG in European football. Like, he's just been around. He gets it. He understands the landscape. Just like what you said there, too. It's like, hey, I know everybody likes to talk about the Americans on these ELF teams, but really the core of these squads are the homegrown guys. I mean, because you only have 4 Americans, and so I mean, it's just expert level stuff here. So then you guys the next year had Coach Kendall Ellison. You guys took a step forward, made the playoffs actually, and then ended up losing this heartbreaker kind of to Paris in Paris. Great game. Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Yeah, kind of, having the different divisions, you kind of don't really see the other division teams.
Right.
So it was really exciting to go up to Paris, playing a really, high talented team that was, had some great, highly competitive games throughout the season.
Yeah.
And then, going into that game, beating Raiders at home, going to the playoffs, that kind of gave us a huge, positive boost for the playoffs.
Right.
And then going into that game is, it's win or go home. So we definitely left it all on the field that day. But it's just at the end of the day, they're a great team, well coached, great players, and then they sealed the deal with that last 8-minute drive, and they scored. Yeah. So it was.
I was calling that game. It was a wild one, man. That game got pretty chippy. Did you? I mean, at least from my perspective, did you feel that on the field? It got pretty chippy. A lot of talk.
Yeah, I think both teams are definitely physical teams, having physical defenses, and having me and Malik Stanley out there, we kind of talk a little bit, having some fun with it. But it was definitely, I think playoffs, that's what it is. Everybody wants to win. Everybody's gonna leave it all on the field. So it was definitely a battle, and towards the end of the game, even pregame in the locker rooms, you kind of had those adjoined center entrance ways.
Yeah.
And the whole time was talking back and forth, so it was fun.
Classic France-Germany rivalry that dates back to a long time. I'm a little surprised because you're such a nice guy off the field, but I think you got a little bit of a extra fire on the field. I remember, I think it was 2023, and I was filming for The Surge. It was at your guys' home place, and you ran for like a 15-yard touchdown. Great play. You might have trucked somebody, and I'm right here in the end zone. You run right to me, and you point at me. You like that, Nalf? You like that? It reminded me of the Kirk Cousins. You like that moment there. Do you feel this? I mean, do you have this different gear, this different side of you on the football field?
Yeah, definitely. I think off the field we can have laughs and giggles and stuff like that. But when on the field, I definitely flip a switch, and
right.
I think that kind of talking that kind of motivates me and gets me into that right mindset, because I feel like at the end of the day, it's a game, and if I can get into their head a little bit and make them kind of, okay, this guy's crazy, he's a quarterback, but he's still talking to me like that. I love that. You
even scared the cameraman, bro. I was like, whoa, Chad is crazy, bro. I did not know that. I like that a lot. That stuck with me, man. That was awesome. Fiery. Speaking of Malik Stanley, where's he going to go, man? I'm surprised we haven't seen a big signing from him.
Yeah,
you got any inside info for me?
I think I know. I heard some rumors about some different teams, but I think when it's time's right, they're going to announce that. I can't let anything, that's on his time and his.
Sort of an off-camera question then. I'll ask you again off camera. Okay. So this brings us up to now the 2025 season, 2 years in Munich, progressed each year. You had a great season last season. Changing and going to the Rhein Fire. Walk me through this process. Did you know you wanted to leave Munich, or was it just Rhein just came after you too hard and it was just too big of an opportunity?
Yeah. So after that playoff game, I was definitely set. I was set going back to Munich.
Yep.
Kind of running back with the guys. Building off of that playoff run, and then I got a couple teams contacting me throughout the off season. Actually, I went back to the States to go visit my family, and I was going to come back and sign a contract with Munich.
Yeah.
But with that short time, I was back probably 3 weeks in the States. Rhein Fire came at me pretty strong.
Yeah.
And it was pretty fun. They showed me a lot of love. Coach Tom Sula, Team Moore doing a great job behind the scenes. They kind of showed me, the city a little bit and what they could do for me and my family. Because the big thing was my family.
Right.
I'm not coming by myself. I'm coming with the whole gang.
Crew.
So they definitely showed me that they can take care of me, on and off the field. Yeah. And at the end of the day, it was best for me and my family, and I think my future career.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Wow, breaking news. Breaking news. After your Chad was so professional, we can say that our producer, Maxie, says Malik Stanley announced back to Munich.
Yeah.
I was getting worried. I was surprised that they weren't signing him back. That man is a machine.
I was doing my best to get him up here with us.
Yeah?
With the Rhein Fire.
Trying to recruit him up?
I guess Sean does a good job of recruiting these players, and Sean knows a lot about, the ins and outs of European football. So it was a hard, hard battle for Malik Stanley, one of the top players in the league.
Yeah, yes. You win some, you lose some, man.
Yeah.
Do you feel any extra sense of pressure coming to a franchise that's back-to-back champions? The expectations here are a championship. Let's be real. Does that enter into your mind at all? Or you just feel like, hey, this is my era, this is the Chad Jeffries era, and it's me, and we're starting fresh? Or where's your mindset on that?
Yeah, I think just coming here gives me so much more motivation. Knowing that what they have done in the past and what we can do in the future, it just motivated me. So I'm coming in, in the best shape possible.
Yep.
I think I'm probably in the best shape I've been in my whole time in Europe.
Yeah.
So just knowing that these guys have a great culture here. Coach Tom Sula has, a great homegrown base, and I mean, I'm not sure if you've seen them, but we had some great, EU players that we added to the roster.
Right.
Some young guys, but also some guys who have been established in the league for a while now. So I think this team can really, build off what we've done in the past, and just use it as fuel to kind of, last two are nice, but it's always the next one that's the best one.
Sure. What have you done for me lately? We'll see what the Rhein Fire do. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I'm gonna. Who are your top 5 quarterbacks in the ELF coming into this season? Including yourself.
Yeah, I got to put myself, up in that top category, 1 and 2. So I would say, who's guys who have really proven themselves in this league the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Hennessy, he's one of the top guys for sure. Just what he's done in Stuttgart. Obviously, Jadrian Clark with his MVP season and his championship back to back. And you also have Jacob Sullivan, who's been around since the beginning, MVP, championship. Now going to Berlin and doing his thing over there. But then you also have these new guys coming into the league, like Henderson from Paris.
Right.
He's going to be a fun week one, opponent for us.
Yeah, you guys got a great one.
Yeah, definitely.
2 iconic coaches clashing too.
Yeah.
Right there with Del Rio and.
And then one more, I would probably have to give it to Ben Holmes. What he's done in that first season with the Vikings.
Right.
Was special. I think he's a great player, and he has control of the offense. And
he's another father of 2. I like my quarterbacks to be fathers of 2. It's a sense of maturity there.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you think about this? Because and I've talked to some people around the league, I like a quarterback that has maybe played in Europe before coming straight to the EL. A guy like you, a guy like Riley Hennessy, a guy like Jadrian. These guys that have kind of been around. Now, Ben Holmes was sort of the exception. This was his first year in the ELF, or in Europe in general, and he had a great season. But do you think there's any credibility to this kind of thought, like, hey, it might be smart to get a quarterback that's been exposed to Europe already, because it's such a mentally demanding position. The transition from moving to the States to Europe is such a big deal in itself. Where do you stand on that?
Yeah, I think it's a definitely a huge advantage, because all these guys come from college. They have everything given to them.
Right.
They have their laundry done for them. They have tutors, whatever. Everything is scheduled for them. But coming over here, across the pond, it's a lot more free time for them, and it's a lot harder to get on schedule. Keep everything on track. So having those guys who've kind of been over here already, experienced that whole kind of culture shock.
Right.
I think it's definitely good because there's a lot to learn, a lot to see, a lot to take in that first season. So when you do come into the top league, the European League of Football, I think it's already good to have 1 or 2 seasons under your belt.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. I think it is, and we'll see how some of these new guys who come over and it's their first time. I mean, there's some talented guys, for sure. But I'm always curious about that, and curious to hear about from veteran quarterbacks their perspective on it. All right, Chad. Last question. What does this season have to look like for you to feel like it was a success in 2025?
Yeah. I mean, there's some definitely big goals for this team and for myself. Obviously, I think just winning our division, that's going to be a huge. I think we have one of the top divisions in the whole league. I think winning the division is going to be a huge one for us. Having that home either it's the bye week playoff game, the semifinal game, or you have a home stretch throughout the playoffs. I think definitely the playoffs, and then for myself, I want to be in that MVP category. Yeah. I want to be in the All-Star category again since my first season. But I mean, for me, at the end of the day, if we're winning, all the other MVP personal goals, those can go out the window. Right. I want to win at the end of the day with this team. At the end of the season, hold that championship high, and and go out, the right way.
There we go. Chad Jeffries, quarterback for the Rhein Fire. Thanks for being on the show, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.